Live from the campus of Southern University, it's the Bottom Line TV show, bringing real truth to today's problems. And now, your host for the Bottom Line TV show, Mr. Bruce Walker.
Welcome to the Bottom Line in the continuation of last week's show. Join us. Welcome to this week's Bottom Line, which is a continuation from last week's Bottom Line. And if you missed the first segment, we're here today with one of my high school friends, but she's not just here because she's my high school friend. She has such an anointing on her life, and God has been using her for so long that her story and her testimony definitely has to be brought forward here on the Bottom Line. So here again, welcome again, Miss Lisa, and thank you for sticking around. And here again, I can't thank you enough for being transparent enough to share and open up with our audience the way you have thus far and the way you will continue, because you know that transparency is what allows God to heal us. I know last week when we left off, we kind of left him with a cliffhanger because we gave him the fate part of this story already. And you know, this week we're going to let them see why I think it's so much hope and so much love, with the love being the greatest of them all. So I know last week when we left off, you had just moved up to California. I believe it was in '87, and
Correct.
you had been blessed to meet your husband.
Right. And in 1987, Bruce, I moved to California. Didn't know anyone, didn't had no clue. And I met this friend, and his name was Dennis. It was a friend, and just what it said, a friend. And because at that time I was still trying to find what I wanted to do. California was a big place. I didn't realize the difference between northern versus south and Southern California. So it was like two different countries. Well, I met Dennis and just friend, and that was it. And he knew that I wanted to go somewhere. I was moving out of transitioning out of engineering, wanting to get into social issues. What are some of the things? What are some of the barriers? So my thing was always, if it's difficult, allow me, challenge me. Let me see, you know, because
Amen.
God is going to be with me, and I know. Um, Continuous with faith, and then I met Dennis, and Dennis and I dated from 1987 till 1990. And I remember Dennis asking my father, I contact my father in New Orleans and asked my father to marry me.
He a real gentleman.
I was like, cut that out now, because we got to wait and see about this, you know. So the trial basis, and not friends, and I say friends, was the 3 years. Um, I was doing different type of jobs in the Northern California area. Then I was called to the Southern California area to do jobs. And then eventually Dennis and I had moved back to Sacramento in 1989. So by my jobs transitioning and understanding where we're going, what we're doing, I think it was the part of us understanding each other, what was true, what was not true, um, and of course your morals and your values with your parents at home, although you're miles away. Now I moved all the way to California and meet Dennis, and Dennis is from Plaquemine, Louisiana. So now I'll tell you, okay. So we dated, and then I went ahead and accepted after he's negotiation with my mom and dad, everything.
He had to negotiate for that
Oh,
baby out of New Orleans, huh?
honey,
I
sugar,
know.
I'm telling
I
you.
know. I'm out of Condé one time and got told no
Okay.
back in the day. So I know that was some tall orders right there.
Oh gosh, yeah. So with agreement, uh, it was time to get married, and I'm just okay. Let's just get it to the point. I don't need all this la la stuff. We don't. Bruce, it was so serious. I didn't want a honeymoon, and I
Mm.
said, you know what? I'm not spending that kind of money. If you're gonna do anything, okay, get me a dental plan. I had
Amen.
a little one, but where he was working, he had a better one. Now,
Amen.
now I'm a smile for 25 years. How about that? Huh? So,
To get a honeymoon for a week, huh?
honey, let me smile, okay? So, I said because you never know, and being responsible, being able, and I always had something about this AIDS floor in Charity Hospital. It was just something, a rude awakening, how folk would think one way, but they were actually living another way. And they
Amen.
were so happy and at peace and just comfortable with themselves. And so that was where I wanted to be in my life. I don't care what it was. Whatever it is, I'm gonna have peace. And they're at peace. They're not worried about dying. They're not worried about they only have 2 months left or 3 months left. Well,
Man.
Dennis and I decided to get married August 18th, 1990. And in that we were, we're new. Let's be responsible. Um, I was 25, he was 35. Let's just be responsible. We're out here, we're getting married. Let's do these things. So responsible things.
Amen.
I always say in my life, have the ability, turn the word around, to respond. That helped me tremendously. You can have responsibility, but if you don't have the ability to respond to whatever situation it is, you're still lost.
Hey man, we're gonna stop you right there because I know the situation coming up is gonna be good.
Okay.
So we're gonna take a short break and we'll be right back.
See the entire Tag Heuer collection today at Elgin's Fine Jewelry.
Louisiana Laserderm. We are a cosmetic laser facility and treat all skin types and colors and specialize in African American skin. We offer hair and tattoo removal. Do you want to get rid of that stubborn fat and cellulite with our new Venus Freeze? Men and women, come in, get rid of those irritating ingrown hairs and razor bumps on your face or anywhere on the body with just one hair removal treatment. Call Louisiana Laserderm at 490-9090 and check out our monthly specials on Facebook and online at lalasderderm.com.
For 20 years, First Choice has made your life better with our great selection of brand name furniture, electronics, and appliances at flexible payment plans to meet any budget. And at First Choice, there are no credit checks and no one's refused. Come into any First Choice location or shop online at firstchoicerto.com.
Welcome back to the bottom line. And if y'all just joining us today, I tell you, y'all are missing a powerful testimony. And Sister Lisa, that was quite clever the way you ended last segment because, yeah, it's important that you have the ability to respond. And someday I will repeat that, believe me. So I appreciate that. So now we up in Sacramento, and from what I could understand, look like throughout your whole life, God has been preparing you for the ability to respond. Tell us about Sacramento.
Okay. August of 1990, Dennis and I decided to get married. Being responsible, we decided to get the insurance policy. And our wedding was on the 19th, and they came out like the 21st, that Monday or something like that. And we did the AIDS test because we wanted insurance. And both of us did the test, and November passed, December passed. I hadn't had a bill, and I wanted to pay. I wanted to pay. Well, back then at the time in 1990, Ryan White, the AIDS funding, he had just passed with Elton John, and it was just beginning to start. They were just beginning to start the Ryan White funding in 1991, actually, but this was 1990. And November, December, I'm a new bride, and I want to get it done. Well, nothing happened. We came home for Christmas. I came back January, nothing. So I called the agent, and he says, Lisa, you didn't receive anything. Well, in February, I had received a letter, and the letter indicated I was in a high risk group. It didn't say nobody had anything. It didn't say nothing. It did nothing. It just said I was in a high risk group. I was like, well, what does that mean? Because I didn't even know what was a high risk group, Well, so I waited another week, and then I contacted the insurance company, and they said, we can't tell you over the phone. So immediately you're like, wait, I'm a new bride. I know it's only one test. Back then, you had 3 tests. They would take one test, and it was 8 months before you got a result. It was ELISA, it was a Western blot, and it was those type of tests. And they go in, they take it one time, they come back, but they wouldn't tell you anything. They just send the lab out. So anxiety, everything. And at this time, I'm like, hope. I don't even know what this is. My husband, we don't even know what this is, but we're going to have hope through this thing. We're going to get through this thing.
Amen.
And then the test result came back. Well, in the state of California, you couldn't mail out a test paper, regardless to whatever it was. Well, this insurance company had mailed me a paper. They had indicated my husband had come back HIV positive.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just kept thinking, well, HIV positive. Mind you, this is January of 1991. And I was like, well, he's positive. So they said, we can't release your results. It has to be to a physician. At this time, whomever I picked up, I was a new bride then, so I went to the insurance book. Use what you have, right?
Amen.
I said, this is the nearest doctor close to us. We need to release the results right there. I need them 24 hours. When the results came in, they released them to the doctor. We went over, and the doctor said, well, yes, it's Dennis. It's not you. So mind you, from August of a policy up until March of the next year, this is what was going on. But faith was there. Faith, my hope, I know it's going to be all right. I just know it's going to be all right. So, of course, it was continuing testing. And once the test came back and the physician looked over, he says, well, and I've given Dennis like 6 months. So it says, well, with the T cell level as it is, like a 12, then he's only going to be at 6 months to live. And then I went, it's what we got. Who said that? And so I immediately, I just started kicking, who said that? I'm a new bride. And Dennis asked me at that moment. Of course, we had contacted the family. We put them on alert. So it was a village with us. So I really want to stress how important it was. My family, his family, Dennis and I had to know each other because we needed to know each other. It wasn't the surrounding. It was husband and wife. You just took vows in sickness and in health. And we had to do what's called I did an empathy thing. And I said, if I was in his shoes, would he do that? Where would that lead me? So we sat down. We had to understand it. At the beginning, well, what is this? We had to research. We had to do those things. So the first 10 years, we had to understand it. It wasn't about everybody understanding. We had to understand each other. What do? You pull closer, you leave, you walk out. I'm a new bride. I don't want to deal with this in sickness and in health.
Wait, Lisa, now, because I want to make sure they get this.
Okay.
You a new bride.
Mm-hmm.
You take the pre-bridal test.
Mm-hmm.
Your test come back, and the man you just married comes up positive,
Correct.
and you don't leave.
That's right. And I don't.
See, it's something about you because these days, if I lose my job, she gone. So for you to be able to stay under those conditions, believe me, God has definitely got a plan for you in your life, my sister. And you just stay obedient, and the things He have for you will be second to none, because I've seen too many supposedly loving couples hit one hiccup in the road and everybody scattered. So for you to be coming in to this situation and have this way big hiccup in the road and you make it through it, you are what we consider here at the bottom line a living testimony, sister.
Wow.
Hated to cut you off, but
Sure.
I had to make sure the audience understood exactly what you were saying, that when you got married, within the first 6 months, you found out your husband. And just before we go to break, how long have you been married?
25 years. And
See,
we dated 3 years prior to.
see, now this is the third, fourth, fifth, sixth show this season, but I say, look like every guest that come here is gonna give me a reason to say, won't he do it? Because this here is another won't he do it moment. We got to take a short break right here, but we'll be right back.
If you only download one app, that app should be Four Woes. And now, the last Sunday of each month, someone's going to win a Four Woes app gift bag. Just click on the menu tab at the bottom and like our Facebook page. It's that easy. Then write a quick post so we know who you are. Just simply state, I should get the gift bag because it's that simple. Remember, the last Sunday of each month, we'll pick a winner.
Let First Choice entertain you. Get a 42-inch flat screen HD TV, audio bar, and Blu-ray player with Wi-Fi for just $19.99 a week. Plus, get a $6 Redbox gift card as long as you rent. Come to any First Choice location for details or go to firstchoicerto.com.
See the entire Tag Heuer collection today at Elgin's Fine Jewelry.
Louisiana Laserderm. We are a cosmetic laser facility and treat all skin types and colors and specialize in African American skin. We offer hair and tattoo removal. Do you want to get rid of that stubborn fat and cellulite with our new Venus Freeze? Men and women, come in, get rid of those irritating ingrown hairs and razor bumps on your face or anywhere on the body with just one hair removal treatment. Call Louisiana Laserderm at 490-9090 and check out our monthly specials on Facebook and online at lalasderm.com.
Welcome back to the bottom line. And you know, Lisa, that segment right there was powerful because, like I said, you know, what you and your husband have exemplifies the type of love that God loves us with. You know, a lot of times we are in relationships that demonstrate such a worldly love. That's that I love you because you would take out the garbage, because you the same color as me, because of that's that love because of. But what you and your husband demonstrate is that love that God have for us, which is an agape love in spite of. And you know, hats off for y'all for having that in our community and being transparent enough to let all of us see what agape love look like on earth. Now I know when we left off, y'all was in California, and you know y'all had just uh, got a grasp of this thing. And I know back then it wasn't a whole lot of resources and educational material out concerning this. So how did y'all get through that portion?
And I'm gonna share with you, hope was it, because I could remember Dennis and I did the first 10 years in Sacramento, and we just really had to find ourselves and find out um, basically what this thing was about. Um, are you allowing it to get you, or are you going to get it?
Amen.
So I didn't have barriers. We just opened up and we said, okay, we're going to tackle it. And I don't know who said 6 months, but we're going to do whatever we can do in our power and give it to God. And that's where we're going to leave it. And I mean, when we leave it there, we're going to leave it there. And we're just going to have the responsibility to get out here, to have the ability to respond to whatever issue it was. And I remember we worked there 10 years, and the 10 years was understanding it. You've got to believe that it was similar to for me, it was civil rights, because everywhere we went as a heterosexual couple, we weren't allowed because benefits weren't for heterosexuals. They were for gay, they were for prostitute. And I remember walking into a building and I said, I need help. And she said, what are you? Gay, drugs, prostitute? I said, neither. And she looked, and we both looked eye to eye. I said, neither. Well, what do you mean? So therefore, it was created. Things you have to create. I was perfectly okay with that because God had given me hope.
Amen.
You know, it could be done. And with that, with my background, leaving New Orleans, moving, engineering, water flows, but it never stops. The river never stops.
Amen.
So with all those things, it just compiled everything, and you hold on to what you have. And so we moved, once we got a just of ourselves and everything was down pat, we moved back home in the 1996 to be around family, to share with them, this is what we go through, this is who we are. Having each other, knowing each other, the response. And when we moved home, working with AIDS has been understanding God. I don't care about timing. A lot of things, I tell you, Bruce, at one time I didn't want an insurance policy. At one time I didn't want, don't tell me anything about debt. You know what I'm saying? Well, every day I enjoy. Every day I enjoy today.
Amen.
And for the simple fact that's the reason. So even though we had a negative response to HIV negative, I just took that response and used it positively.
And that's why you're so special, and that's why you're sitting here on the bottom line today, sharing your testimony with our audience. And you know, before we leave, it would not be fair to nobody out there if we didn't give them an opportunity to be able to get in touch with you. I know you're a motivational speaker, and if this story don't motivate somebody and to help them get their mind right with Christ. Ain't no hope for them. So if you would, I'd like you to take the time and also tell them about this great book I know you have coming up that's soon to be released. So tell them a little bit about what you're going to be doing in the future, how to get in touch with you, and where to be expecting you throughout the community.
Absolutely. I can be reached at Lisa, Lisa, Seals, S as in Sam, EALS hyphen Thomas, THOMAS, on Facebook. I could also, oh, I'm sorry, I'm nervous. Okay, I'm doing public speaking, motivational speaking. I have a book coming out called Surviving an AIDS Marriage, 25 Years. Lisa Seals Thomas, author, by Xerox Publishing. Again, the title of it is Surviving an AIDS Marriage for 25 Years. And the release date is scheduled for August 18th, 2015. And actually, August 18th, 2015 is our anniversary for 25 years. So this was my baby, and this is what we birthed, and to share with you, how did we do it? What are some of the things that can help others? Every family member, somebody knows somebody.
Amen.
I mean, we need to help each other. I mean, don't close the door. Here, we're still with this 25. I'm not a statistic. I'm HIV negative. I'm still with my husband. I love my husband. We're still married. So it's what you do with it. It's how you do with it. It's not time to shut down. Actually, it's time to live.
Nah. Sister Lisa, I can't thank you enough for coming in and being so transparent to let us into y'all life and to share that wonderful testimony, because here again, we don't get an opportunity to see real love a lot of times. And you know, your story is a true representation of the love God has for us, is that agape love. And you know, I pray you and your husband 25 more years of marital blitz. And here again, when that book come out, I expect you to come back here on this bottom line and let our audience know that that book is available, and we're going to support you and your husband because we appreciate what y'all have done and what y'all are doing in our community.
Thank you.
God bless you, sister.
Thank you so much, Bruce.
Now, y'all see why I call this a story of hope, love, and faith, and love being the greatest of them all. And that's the bottom line.
Video by TMB Productions, shot on the campus of Southern University. Set provided by First Choice Furniture. Contact The Bottom Line at contact@thebottomlinetvshow.com. This has been an AG production.